of the cool things about podcasting is it is quite it's something that's a little bit out of a lot of people's comfort zones. So it's not something that like everyone is kind of normalized. It's kind of getting there a little bit now though. Like it's becoming a normalized thing that people do. Yeah. But it's like it's still accessible. It's fun. People enjoy it, and it's like a form of content that a lot of people enjoy consuming.
Have you been on one before, bro?
Nah.
Have you ever looked into it yourself to like do your own?
Sort of. Like, you know, you always have those conversations with your mates where you're like yarning and then you're like, this should have been recorded. I wanted to listen to this.
Bro, people need this content.
So like I've been on like I met it was like AliExpress. Cheap microphones, recording setups. Yeah. Oh, bro, we can start a recording setup for like $80.
Bro, $80 a whole home studio.
And then we'll start like having sponsors, like this would be mean. And we'll just like yarn the whole time. And then it just never happens.
Yeah. Like, it's so classic.
That's cool though.
I feel like that tends to be like, it's like a lot of dudes these days, like, just get into the zone where they're like, it's like clothing brand, podcast, like every little thing is like, let's just do it. Yeah. You get the boys around a table and it's a good time. Make some memories, start a company, do some crazy stuff, and
I love it.
It's fun. And then you find yourself in a situation like this, and you're like, yeah, well,
here we are.
Here we are. It's fun and games though.
Henry, bro, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to who even knows what episode now?
14.
It doesn't even matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
We're just here for a good time.
Oh no, because you've filmed more.
Yeah, we have, bro.
Who knows?
There's a lot in the bank.
It's all lost in the ether now, bro.
Yeah. Thanks for having me,
bro. Fill us in. Who are you? What do you do? How would you describe yourself in the elevator pitch right now?
Dude, I was thinking about this. I was like, they're gonna ask me, and I was like, I'm still young. I'm still working out what I would say, but I mean, the elevator pitch would be, I'm Henry. I'm 19 years old.
Sick.
From Auckland, studying commerce and law at Auckland Uni.
Boom.
Run a little clothing company. Love film, photography, skating, BMXing, drumming. Jesus. Dude, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
That's perfect, bro.
Love life.
Yeah, dude. Just getting amongst like anything I can, anything that interests me. I've got like quite, I want to say an addictive personality, but if I get into one thing, it's like we're going for it. We're
getting down there.
Yeah, you go hard and you go deep on it.
Yeah. And then I may lose interest, and it's like, oh well.
Nice while it lasted.
Yeah.
But I find it so sick because you get like quite a good understanding of a lot of different topics when you jump around, and it turns out when you're having like conversations, you can relate to like a deeper level because. Dude, for 3 months, I was into that. I was into that, you know?
Yeah, when you've got a wide horizon, right? When you've got a wide, like, vast range of experiences, it like, vastly improves or, like, greatly improves your ability to connect with people.
Oh, 100%.
Would you say you're a dude who, like, loves people? Is that a big part of your life?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like, serving on the youth team at CCY. Nice. Love it.
What's CCY?
Central Church Youth.
Nice.
Cool. So... we meet on Fridays now. It was Thursdays, but we're moving to Fridays.
Yes.
Yeah, it was actually fortnightly Thursdays. Now it's every week on Fridays. So we're just getting it rolling.
What do you guys do there?
We're just providing like a hangout space for the youth to come and like connect with each other. Find a little bit more about God. Have some of those deeper conversations, but still just having it like fun and lighthearted.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're wanting to move into a space where we're more opening up those kind of like deeper conversations because we feel like we've built the foundation relationships with the boys.
So
like
good.
That we can have banter, like things are good. Yeah. Now let's give them something more, or like let's like help them through and help them like get to know God more or help them through some issues that they're dealing with, you know?
Is it strictly lads or is it
girls
and boys?
Girls too. Cool. But I'm just hanging out with the boys, you know? That's where my focus is at.
Nice, bro.
So,
good answer.
Yeah, Anna's going to be listening to this.
Yeah, good shout.
Yeah.
That's
How
awesome,
good.
man.
You seem pretty passionate about young people. Where do you think that passion came from?
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. It's funny because when I was at my old church, I was part of the youth group, and I enjoyed it, but I never thought I'd become a youth leader. Like, that was like the last thing. I was like going to be
Crazy.
out of youth and then just doing whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And then came along to CCY, and it started getting to the end of high school, and I was like, yo, CCY's coming to an end. I can't keep coming along when I'm not going to high school, you know? That'd be a bit weird. And I was
a
like,
little bit.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I was like, dude, how can I stay connected with CCY? And Brandon was like, dude, the only way, like, you know the way. And I'm like, I have to become a leader. And I was like, okay. And so I took the step, and like one of those weird like obsession things, starting to like go into it, I realized like, dude, this is actually like sick. This is actually something that I love to do. And my heart's actually grown for it as time's gone on. So the first year, like, we've got this thing with Central where we're quite a young church. So there aren't many families that have like young kids that like kind of that come to the church and then come to youth. You know how you've got your, it's just a given. Your parents go to church, so you go to the youth group on Friday.
Right.
That's just what it is.
Out of obligation.
It's
That's just what you do.
Yeah, you just got to do it. And if you don't, then you're a rebel, you know. And your mates at church are like, bro, where were you? You know.
Where were you?
But we didn't have that at CCY. It's changing a little bit. But we had this like battle where like every week we're just trying to get youth to come,
Right.
you know.
That's an interesting culture.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, it's buzzy. But now we've got like the sickest group of youth that are just fired up to come. You know, there's a shift when like instead of you hitting them up about are you coming to youth, they're asking you when
when's
youth's
the
on.
next hang?
So that's been happening, and I'm like, yo, like it just like sets that fire alight a little bit more
That's
on.
epic,
as you go further down the journey. So it's sick.
That's epic, bro. That's so
Um,
cool to hear how passionate you are about that area of your life.
Yeah, it's weird too because I never thought I would have been talking like this.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Another thing is seeing God transform their hearts, and like we went to Easter camp, we saw you guys there. That was sick. Dude, God showed up like in ways that I could never have imagined, and just hearing the testimonies, I'm hearing the testimonies of how God's impacting them, but it's impacting me in like the same way, and it just gets me so pumped. So
It's like a big snowball effect, eh? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, when you work with young people like they get excited about things, it gets you excited about things, and it's just like
100%.
seeing the way that like that kind of stuff starts to develop, and like, you know, maturity comes, and like you build relationships with people, and it's like, you know, and even when walls start to come down, and you can like actually start to have real, genuine conversations with people, I feel like something that gets like is quite lacking in like, you know, actually having your walls down and having genuine conversations with people is like not a common thing these days.
Yeah.
I know I spent like most of my teenage years like not having that as part of my life, like being able to have genuine conversation. And, yeah.
100%. Another thing for me would be like you go for the youth and you're like fully focused on them, but it turns out you're actually gaining more from spending time with them, having these conversations
Yeah,
like
bro.
you're talking about,
So true.
and giving into their life. Like I've been to Easter camp 3 years before, 4 years or something like that.
Yeah.
I probably received the same amount out of this one as I did in those 4, where I was solely focused on myself. You know, it's like it's the weirdest thing.
There's a big nugget in there as
Yeah,
well, like
it's-
around giving.
Yeah.
Around the importance of like being outward focused rather than inward focused.
Yeah.
I think the important thing there is that you can hear it on Henry's heart that he's going in to serve, and that he's going in, and it's not out of a selfish lens or out of a, you know, like because I'm going to receive. It's like I just love it. I love these young people.
Yeah.
And the overflow and kind of just what happens as a natural response of that is that he is gaining so much and becoming so enriched. That's amazing to hear, bro.
Yeah.
It's super encouraging to hear that's actually happening in young adults and in the youth these days, that they are actually like pumped to hang and have proper hangouts and conversations.
Yeah.
Oh, I flipping love it. It's so good, eh?
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah.
So
You were
good.
talking a little bit earlier about like your clothing and your design and photography and stuff like that. What does that look like in this space, like with your youth and that ministry?
So, with the clothing brand, I've been asked to organize some of the merch for CCY.
Yo.
And so I had these designs like ticking over, and in lockdown I was just designing all these things, and came up with a few, presented them to Braden, and he's like, bro, these are sick. And I was It was gonna be it was gonna be like either he loved them or he hated them, because the style I was going for was just like
pretty outrageous,
completely different to what I'd seen before.
Yeah. Just for the listener, real quick, who's Braden?
Braden Murdoch. He was our youth pastor.
Yeah.
Now he's our senior pastor at
Cool.
Central.
So good.
At Central Church.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should probably let people know about that. This Braden guy I keep talking
It's like
about.
a big part of your life.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
dude, for sure.
Who's this Braden?
Such a good dude, eh?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. So yeah, got asked to design some of that. Got asked to design like a baptism tee for our latest baptism service, so that was fun. But yeah, Braden's super big into like fostering the gifts that God's like put on our lives.
Cool.
So he's good at like spotting, okay, Henry loves designing tees, so we're gonna empower him to go and do that.
Yeah.
Henry loves making videos, so we're gonna empower him to do this, you know?
Yeah.
Anna loves taking photos and running the social media, so we're going to empower her to do that. So that's kind of what it's looked like. I've just been delving in wherever I feel like I'm of value. And so
Love
that's
cool.
that's come in the form of like t-shirts, filming videos for CCY, Instagram designs, and now we're designing a new venue for Central. So I've been
awesome.
I've been a little bit of a step back.
Yeah.
Anna and Matt have been like driving. We've been a driving force, but I've been kind of back giving little ideas here and there. So yeah.
That's awesome, man.
It's so exciting to hear like the way that like, I mean, you came in here and you were like, oh, you know, I'm 19. I'm still a young guy, like just figuring out who I am. But it sounds like even though you're in that season of like, yeah, you're a young dude, but like at the same time, you're taking ownership of that. You're taking ownership of the things that you're good at.
Absolutely.
And you're like flipping, hanging out with people, and you're just serving, you're giving out, and you're like just championing it and getting it done. And like, it's inspiring.
Yeah.
Like, it's encouraging to see that like you're just out there running it and running it well.
Yeah.
Sure, bro.
Like, yeah, genuinely, it's so cool.
I find the times when I'm like most fulfilled or like stoked with life is when I'm like busy and creating things and like giving back.
Yeah,
I find
cool.
the times where I like shy away from that and like start focusing inwardly, that things just go downhill and I'm like, no, I gotta get back out and start helping people again.
We don't like it.
Not working. This is not good. So yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Why do you do it, bro? What fuels you?
Dude, it's hard. I just get fired up by it. It just like makes me excited to. Yeah, I've got all these like creative ideas bouncing around in my head, and I love like seeing them come to fruition.
Yeah, bro.
Like
Cool.
Like I had all the like the style of design that I was working on, all of it stored on my computer, and then we got 3 tees, a hoodie, and then 2 tees printed at the same time, and just seeing those in the flesh, seeing people's reaction.
There's nothing like it,
just fired me up. I was like, this is insane.
Dude,
same thing with making
so
videos.
Cool.
It's like, I just love it. It's just sick. So, yeah.
Fire out. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So you've obviously got this passion for clothing. You've got the passion for design. What other avenues of your life? Like we've chatted a little bit about CCY and church life and all that kind of stuff. What other areas of your life are you kind of exploring in those, like doing with those things, those skills that you've got?
Drumming is a big one.
Yeah.
So
Tell us
drumming in
about that.
church. Yeah. It started off, I've been drumming for like on and off for quite a long time throughout my years.
So sick.
And motivation's just been like going up and down, you know.
Yeah.
I found the times when I was in a band were the times that I was like the most focused on it because
You're just absolutely peaking.
you're just loving it. You're playing in front of people all the time. You've got a competition to work for or whatever. When I wasn't in a band, it was just like I'm just getting sick of playing along the backing tracks, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I had periods in my life where I was like, I'll never get it back into drumming ever again. I sold my kit. I was like, I'm done.
Dang.
Yeah. And then an opportunity comes up. Hey, we need a drummer, and I'm like, all right, Dad, can I get a drum kit?
Polishes the cymbals.
Hey, let's go.
So now that looks like serving on the worship team, and I see drumming as another form of worshiping God. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but when I'm in a worship service and I'm not drumming, all I can really focus on is the drummer. And I don't want to put any pressure on like the drummers that are drumming in front of me, because I hate the feeling of like judgment.
You just
people
know
watching
that
me.
someone's watching you.
Yeah. I've had so many times where I'm playing and I'm like, someone is like judging my playing right now, and I'm like, I gotta like get it out. So I don't want that. I don't want to impose that on anyone. But yeah, when I'm watching someone drumming, I'm either looking at how they could improve maybe, or like ways that, like, oh, he did that, so maybe I did that in that song, or how could that be done better? Or I'm like, dude, this guy is killing it. What can I learn? And so
good.
It's hard because you want to be able to disassociate. You want to be able to put all that aside and just give glory to God. But I'm still struggling with just trying to focus on the drum. So yeah, I find like playing the drums, getting better at that, playing through the Spirit, letting the Holy Spirit lead me, that's my form of worship. That's the way that I give God glory.
Cool.
Or one of the ways.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Such a massive part of your life.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Man,
So
I
cool.
love that. So cool.
Yeah.
And like, so you've got like music, you've got graphic design, you've got like clothing. You mentioned skateboarding before as well. Like, mate, you're a flipping man of so many different like talents and areas.
When did you first start to like express and start channeling that creativity? Do you have any like memories from a young age of like anything your parents kind of like set you up with? Like, I know for myself personally, it stemmed from like arts and crafts classes when I was super young, and Dad being a furniture maker by trade, so going up to his workship and knocking stuff together with offcuts of wood. And like, what did that look like for you from a young age?
Yeah, that is. Yeah, to try and keep the answer as concise as possible, because I have all these ideas. This. Yeah, dude. Like arts and crafts as a young kid was actually a big one. Like me and my mates used to draw cars. Like we love Top Gear, but we draw cars and we'd build we'd make these books. Just year 4, I don't think I did a single bit of it. I was only drawing cars and like making these sick books.
So
I was doing that.
Yeah.
Have you still got the books?
Nah, but
Dang it. Oh, bro.
those are those things you're like, I'll never want to see this again. This sucks.
It's
you
true.
You see it 2 years later and you're like, this sucks. I'm way better now. But you don't realize in like 10 years time, I'm going to like love these. These are going to mean so much to me.
100%.
And your parents warn you. They're like, yeah, don't throw out your books. You're going to love it. And I'm like, nah. It's taking too much space in my wardrobe. I need more shoes. So, you know?
Let's be honest, shoes king.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, your kids are like, yo, Dad, where's all your books from school? Mum has all of them. And you're like, I got all these sick shoes though. But yeah, so that started at a young age. But I never really saw that as creativity.
Yeah.
And there were always kids that were like more creative or better at drawing or painting than me. But I always was like fascinated by it. Like art, like if we did art on like a Friday, you know how teachers sometimes do that. That would excite me so much. So I guess it started there. I didn't even think about that until you asked the question. Like, honestly. And then from there, it kind of went to making videos for, like, mountain biking. So we started in, like, year 7 and 8, just building dirt jumps and all sorts of things like that. And we just wanted to film videos and just put them up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so... yeah, we got GoPros, got our parents' cameras, and just would film, and like they were like super average. We chucked them up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Dude, like every few months I like go back, search them up, like, oh yo, this
That's still live.
Yeah. Some of them are, some of them aren't. So that kind of started it. Started the video kind of side of it, making those. Then I started moving to like BMX, and we started filming like BMX used to have these things called webisodes, and they were like, it's like a vlog. Yeah, it's literally a vlog. It was like an early vlog.
Yeah.
And so you'd start the day like, yo, what's up, guys? We're about to go to this skate park, this spot. We're going to do this. And you just film things throughout the day. And so we made a few of those, made edits. And yeah, but it's kind of just been like, just whenever something excites me, I just try and do it. You know, I just try and create it. And I see a video and I'm like, dude, we could totally make something like that. Like that's totally possible.
Yeah.
Let's go do it.
Let's do it.
And I feel like we did quite a good job of like utilizing the inferior equipment that we had to make something pretty sick.
That's so cool.
So yeah, I guess that's where it started.
What's been something recently that you've like that's gotten you excited and you've been like, okay, yeah, let's do it?
Dude. This new style of design that I've been talking about, that's been a big one. If that answers the question, if that's like going down the right way.
Do you want to describe a little bit of what this design looks like?
Well, I can kind of describe like how my design was and where it's going. So it started off, I was really into just simple, standard, like simple embroidery, simple lines, clean, minimalistic. And I still love that, but I started like losing the interest in that.
Right.
And like through Instagram and through other like sources of inspiration, my brain just started like widening to all of these other sorts of things. So I started seeing things like Kanye West, Jesus is King merch.
Yeah, bro.
And I remember seeing this and I'm like, this looks like it's designed on like Microsoft Word art, like 2003.
3D banner text.
You know the one. Like, low-key, if I could find a computer with those texts, like it would be fire.
We need a screen, bro.
Like,
we need a studio screen where we can pull this.
We need a Jamie like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
That's it.
Bro, Jamie,
Pull it up. So I remember seeing this and I'm like, how can it look so bad but be so sick?
Yeah.
This is my thinking. And then so I started looking into the people that he was collabing with, people like Cactus Plant Flea Market. I think that's the company or the brand. And just seeing the designs, like this looks so bad but so good.
Yeah.
Like your mum will say, yo, that looks terrible and a 3-year-old designed it. But like if you know, you know, and you're like, yo, this is sick. So I had all these like different influences in my head, and I was like, let's try and recreate it myself. Not the exact style, but let's like
and put your twist on it, right?
Yeah, put my twist on it, and it was like the rules of design broke in my head, and it was like, it's like
so cool.
100%.
Yeah, I used to think of design as like, you don't want to offend anyone. You want everyone to like it.
Yeah.
You know?
And there's a way to do it.
There's a way to do it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, yo, how many people can I get frustrated at it? Like on Fraser's design, we've changed it now, but you may notice on the first one, it says what, and then on one of our first designs, I didn't put an apostrophe where the S was.
Right.
And he said, bro, we have to put an apostrophe and people getting mad. And I'm like, all right. And I put it like after the S, upside down, like in a weird way, just to annoy people because I'm I want people to like focus on that and get frustrated. That was my mindset shift. It was like from trying to please people to like fully just screw the rules.
Throw
It's almost
caution
like
to the wind.
brutalism, right?
Yeah.
Like that real just cut and just tear design style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking things.
Yeah.
But there's something that's engaging about that because you see that kind of stuff, and rather than it just being something that like gives you that short hit of dopamine, that short little like fire in your brain where you're like, oh yeah, that's nice. It's like it's actually like you get this deep and rich engagement that you actually don't get through many other things. It's like this really cool way that you can kind of like, I guess, relate to people and like start to broaden those horizons as well.
Well, it stops you in your tracks, right?
Yeah, it's
We've
like
just
gobsmacking.
had years and years and years of composition, like the perfect composition, rule of thirds, like all these different things.
The golden
Everybody,
ratio,
it's just design Bible, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, why?
Yeah.
It's when you get to that point, I've definitely been there, like as a creative, and you're like, man, I just feel like I'm putting a limitation on myself, right? And you're like, for me personally, like recently, it's like when you're doing some posters or painting and you're about to do it one way just because it's comfortable, or you've known it before, you're like, why?
Yeah.
And then you do the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And you actually take that intention and you just do something so out the gate that you would not have gone into that session to do.
Yeah.
And then you get to the end of it and you're like, man, that's fire.
That's nice.
Awesome,
a technique that I found is like doing it at pace.
Yeah.
Like the faster you do it and the less you think, like the more like the raw creativity is able to come out.
Yeah.
And I could tweak and adjust everything, but like that's not the point. And sometimes I just go boom, like do it in like 10 minutes. Let's see. And then that gets the general idea down, then you can refine it. But it's like that raw, just like pour your ideas onto the page and just go for it.
That's
that I love.
Let it all out.
So
it sounds like that really stems from like your personality, bro, because you've spoken quite a bit how you just get all these ideas and like you just like your creative horizons are just broadening like left, right, and center. And like, what is that like for you? What is that expression of creativity? Just this, you get so many ideas, and like, do you ever feel like you're limited by how much time you have in your day, or just as a human, like you just can't get out like everything you want to? Does it frustrate you?
I haven't had that thought actually. Maybe that's because like I've started, like I'm like, oh, that idea is not good enough, and maybe that's like an issue in myself. Maybe I need to work through that. But often, like I've got all these ideas, but I'm quite good at refining it down to one thing. Yeah, because sometimes it kind of sounds like I've got ADHD, everything's going all nuts, but I am quite good at just refining it and going, let's focus on this.
Nice.
So I think that's a strong suit. Where, it's not as if like going, like I'm doing a project and my idea is just like I can't focus on this one thing anymore because I have to focus on the next. It's not really like that. I'm able to really hone in. But I think something that helps with that is having lots of projects on the go. I don't know if that contradicts itself, but
yeah, no, I understand that.
A number of different things, so I can fully give my time to that one thing. Then if that starts becoming monotonous or boring, moving on to the next thing.
I'm exactly the same.
But when I'm on that one thing,
you are
you know?
Like 100% all in. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I fight that.
So,
yeah.
I'm always aware of how it comes across because I'm like, dude, did I just contradict myself? Like, you were going to like rerun that back.
It's like it's this weird complex because it's like in one area you're like really good at details, but then at the same time you also like got this like big picture brain where you've got to kind of you've got to be juggling things because if you're not juggling things you're dropping them. It's this weird you kind of get in the rhythm and you're doing it and you're like, okay, yeah, cool, this is good, this is good, this is good. And then it's like, but if I stop then, or if I like even try and spend too long on one area, it all falls apart.
It's so true.
I completely vibe with that. 100%.
What would your dream job be, bro? Thinking about your career, future career, doing something full time, like day in, day out, something that energizes you, fills your tank every day. What is that?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this. Like what I said to Fraser when he asked me what my dream was that I become a successful businessman and entrepreneur to fund the kingdom of God. Like that would be like an amazing dream. I think to put that into more detail would be. I love creating like experiences for people and creating like emotions. And so like you see that through music or photography or clothing design, you know, it's all bringing out emotion. Even food, like we could get onto that. I'm not a big foodie, but there are certain avenues that I've tried to explore. Like all of those kind of things put people through an experience and brings out certain emotions. And yeah, to be able to do that on a large scale would be crazy. Yeah. So,
what are we talking? How large are we talking?
Yeah, people are like, dude, don't limit yourself to what you like. What was traditionally thought possible, you know? You got people like Kanye wanting to redesign cities, you know? So you can't like. I'm not saying I want to go that big, but I mean, you never want to limit yourself, you know? So
100%.
I didn't even know. That's the thing. I'm trying to work on that. You know, getting asked these questions the first time I'm even like properly forming these answers in my head, you know? It's like, dude, how big do I want to go?
I don't know.
How big can I go?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Bro,
you know?
that's a good question.
Totally.
So,
dang.
Like, dude, redesigning cities would be insane.
Yeah.
Like, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to go to a job interview and they're like, yo, what's your dream? I'm like, dude, I want to rebuild cities. It's like, nah. So that's more of like a moonshot goal that you kind of just have ticking over. But yeah, I don't know. I find it difficult because I want to know what my dream job is. I want to know the exact steps that I can take to get to that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't even know what it is. I just want to like make people feel dope and create sick art and sick experiences.
Yeah.
While creating wealth.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to do it like for no purpose, you know. Like the money isn't important, but having it financially stable and to sustain itself is so important, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
And viable.
That's a really awesome space to be in, bro. Because I think like just hearing that and hearing everything that you've got going on and that you're passionate in, like that journey in itself will be so enriching for you.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for like the next conversation,
totally.
the next 6 months, a year, 10 years, you know, like
already thinking about that check-in, the next episode, like, bro, what have you done in the last 6 months? Right, redesigned Auckland.
Yeah, dude.
That's epic.
oh, insane. So you've got this, I guess, a brand that you've been working on for a wee while.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Do you want to give us a little bit of a insight, storyline, where it came from, where it started, where we are now?
So, Yes Sir started off kind of as a bunch of me and my mates out riding BMX bikes, filming these webisodes like I talked before.
Yo!
You know, we wanted to film a video at the end of the year, just purely clips, none of this boring talking, telling people we're going to the next spot. You know, we want to just bang a clips.
Yeah.
So we want to film this massive video for the end of the year. And we needed a name. Like, we wanted a name for our crew. And a mate of mine, his name's Ben Gibson. Shout out to him. He's
Shout
a
out,
bro.
Ben.
Good
man.
Hopefully he's listening. I don't know if he is. He was watching a lot of like American YouTube at the time, and they were like, Americans say yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. You know, it's kind of spread to New Zealand too, but it was big in America. And so he was like, bro, what if we call it Yes Sir? And I'm like, that's weird. but then I was like, oh, hold on. Because I don't want to like shoot the guy down over text. So I was like, and then I was like, hold up. That could kind of be interesting. If we were riding a spot, we could say yes sir to the security guard that was kicking us out. And it would be kind of like a screw you in a respectful way. Like,
Yes, sir.
I don't know if that's a Christian thing to be thinking of. But that's what I was thinking. I was like, it's a screw you to the security guard. He'll be like, gee, why are you being so like polite to me? But it's like,
Yes,
dude,
sir.
we're not. You're being whack. You're kicking us out. So that was my thoughts. And I was like, dude, we could at the end of the video, at the start of the video, we could have us saying yes sir to all these different security guards, and the clips were just cut. And I was like, that would be sick.
Yeah.
And that was it. I was like, yep, the name's Yes Sir. And I just started going with it. And I was like, all right, we need stickers. And we need YouTube channels. We need hoodies, all this. Actually, to be honest, hoodies didn't come into the picture. It was mainly stickers. It was mainly like, let's get this idea out. Let's get the boys on board. So we started making these stickers out of like, it was like these A4 sheets that had like, they were like name tags you have at church.
Yeah.
Like 2 per sheet, like two rows, and then it goes down like 8 or something.
Yeah.
So I'd design it on like Word and then print them out and then stick like laminate over the top and cut them out. Like super
Dude.
ghetto. Super
I
ghetto.
love that, bro.
Super ghetto.
That's
That is
amazing.
dope.
And so I bring them to school and I'm like, boys, do you want any? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Bro.
okay, like these are crap. And they're like, dude, these are sick.
Yeah.
And so I started handing them out. It turned into this thing at school where people would be like, Henry. It turned out people would start putting them on their calculators. It was like this thing. You just had to have a Yes Sir sticker on your calculator. And so people started coming in, bro, do you have any more stickers? I'm like
super gorilla, under radar, like.
one guy, shout out to this guy. We gave him a sticker at morning tea time. He was like a ICT monitor or something.
Yeah.
And he gave him one, and he was like, "Oh, sick, cool, whatever." We had no idea who this guy was.
Yeah.
He didn't know who we were. Somehow I get an Instagram message from this guy, and I'm like, "Okay," and he's like, "Bro, can I have some stickers?" I'm like, what the heck? Of course you can, bro. This is sick. So I ended up making like 5 stickers for him, gave them to him, and he was hyped. And I was like, this is some random guy, doesn't even know who I am, that wants a sticker. He ended up being one of the first people to buy a hoodie. He supported us in the future. Like, it was dope.
That's insane.
That's awesome,
So that happened. Yeah, I'm like it's like a story and a
this is like the full
mini
time.
story.
I'm loving this
Yeah,
so much.
Sitting here.
Yeah. So start off with stickers, and then I was like, dude, I've always wanted to make a hoodie, like a custom hoodie. Like, what's cooler than having your own brand on a hoodie? Like, there is nothing cooler, right? There is not a single thing that is cooler than having your brand on a hoodie.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Without a
Apart from
shadow
what's
of
your
a
dream hoodie, mate? Like, those are coming soon. No, but like seriously, I was like, there's nothing cooler. So I made this logo. It was like the weirdest logo. It was like stamps. It was like Yes Sir stamped in like different like YESSIR. And I gave it to like the lady at the embroidery shop at the mall. She was like, yeah, $25 setup, and then it cost like $10 to get it printed. Went and bought like a hoodie from like Kmart or something. Yeah. Chucked it to her. Sick. And then I remember taking a photo of it with my mate, and all I put on the caption was, I think I'm stoked on this, or this is sick or something. #Yes Sir.
Yeah.
That was it. And people started messaging me like, bro, where can I buy these? These are sick.
No
like older dudes that I like looked up to that I thought would never like mess with it at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Right. That's interesting. Then we made this logo. I thought it was completely revolutionary. It turns out every other brand was doing it too. It was so funny. So it was just Yes Sir just on the front, just spaced out.
Yeah.
And I remember like I had no interest in fashion at this point, like zero. I'd buy things from Kmart because if I fell off my bike and ripped it, it would be like $10, $5 for a tee, right? That's all I cared about.
Wow.
And so did this. That got real attention. People like real in my mind was like 5 people. 5 people. I was like, 5 people want to buy this. This is insane.
Yeah.
And so about like a little sub story of that logo, I was like, dude, I need to start like researching about fashion because I know nothing and I'm kind of running a fashion brand, sort of trying to start. Yeah. So I go into like North Beach and like every brand has this spaced out. But this is like months after. This is like 2 months after. Like I've already sold heaps of hoodies, and I'm like, either I'm a genius, or this
leading the charge.
I got like I Love Ugly. They've got it all, and I'm like, I was either super onto it, or I just fully just blatantly copied these guys. No one like called me out about it. They were just, like, that's just what the design was back in those days. And I think what must have happened was I must have seen people wearing things and not like registered it consciously, but it was subconsciously going in my mind all the time. So I was like, oh, this is just a sick idea. It seems original to me. Chuck it on. And then turns out it wasn't original at all. But
interesting.
So that started. Another mate of mine, shout out to Tom, he was like, bro, you gotta like run with this. Like you gotta start a brand. And I'm like, like I always knew I wanted to start a company, but I was like, clothing, like, no, that's whack. Like, there's no money to make in it or whatever. Like, that was my thoughts. And so he made an Instagram for me. And then I realized I knew how profit worked. I knew you can, make a hoodie for this amount and sell it for more. That's like free money. That's sick. So I knew that concept. And so
whilst doing what you love.
Yeah, dude. While, like, getting to wear, like, my own brand, which is the coolest thing ever, right? And so as soon as he made the Instagram, I was like, dude, I kicked him off the Instagram, like locked his account, like changed the password. He didn't realize like months, or maybe he didn't call me out for like about 2 months. He's like, oh, did you change the password? I'm like, yeah, bro, like this is my thing now. And so it kind of just went like that. And I realized like, dude, if I can create like a brand image behind it, get people talking, this thing could actually be sick. And so kind of went down this journey. I had this quote that I used to rely on or like stick to, which was simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So that, I think that's from like Leonardo da Vinci or something, like some cliche guy.
Some schlinger.
Yeah. And so everything I was trying to do was just simple. And that lasted all the way up until this like pivotal time, like around lockdown when my brain just like went
out the window.
way out. Because I got to a point where I was losing motivation. I used to be up all night thinking about Yes Sir. I would like go to sleep and like 30 minutes in would like wake up, grab my phone and like type down ideas or like write ideas down in the dark because I didn't want to like lose sleepiness, you know? And so like I'd have to like decipher it in the morning, like what was going on here. But So I used to have that going on. Like I would just work and just I got energized by it. And one day that just stopped, and I was like what's happening? Am I becoming lazy, or is it because like maybe this drop didn't go as well as I hoped, or something? And I was like, what is it? And so I kind of like put it on the back burner, off to the side, still thinking about it, but not really. And then this like other style that I was like cultivating kind of came up, and I was like, like I'm way more passionate about this. Maybe it was just I just lost passion for this like simple design, this like clean minimalistic.
Well, you're pigeonholing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So I was like, so then once that design style kind of like started coming up, I was like, and I started getting those same things. Started waking up in the middle of the night, right? You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like what motivation feels like. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the space we're in right now.
So
It's almost like you're chasing this kind of like exterior like motivation that's kind of you're getting, and you're just kind of like you're going, okay, yeah, cool, and you're just following that. You're following like the way your mind is leading you creatively, and like you're like, okay, cool, I'm tuning in, I'm doing it, I'm following it, let's do it, let's go. That's fun.
So I think I'm totally doing that, and I like if I was 40, that probably wouldn't be the right thing to be doing. You should be sticking to one thing, you know, the thing you know works, and just going for it. But because I'm so young, it's like I do have that ability to just keep going through different stages, trying to find it, you know? So, that's kind of where we're at.
That's epic.
Dang, bro, that's so exciting.
Bro, what would you say to other younger individuals that are just starting to really tap into their creative mind and are really starting to like harness it, and you know they're looking at the world and they're like, man, I can actually have a lot of fun in this space, and there's at a young age, like there is just so much space and time for you to experiment and have fun. What would you say to those people just kind of on the brink of it, just scratching through and just like, oh wow, like can I do this? Am I like, you know, a bit of that imposter syndrome coming in, like should I, shouldn't I?
Well, the thing I'd say is like the only way you're going to grow is by going outside of your comfort zone and just tackling something head on. And you're never going to meet someone that started a business or did something creatively that they regretted it in the end. You know, like unless they lost a ton of money or like ruined their life. But you know, like most people, they fail in life. They succeed in life, and they take those experiences and they learn from them. And that's what I'd say. Like even if your clothing brand or your creative agency completely crashes, you're going to learn so much in the process. You're going to be so grateful for it. You know? So I just say, bro, just go out and do it. Like it's the cliche thing of like, don't care what other people think, but it's genuinely a huge thing.
It's a massive thing.
There's so many facets of it, that you just get trapped in and just this comparison game. But it's really like flipping the script on failure, right? And it's just completely removing the fear of failure from your compass. And it's like, actually, no, like I'm either going to succeed or I'm going to learn and I'm going to grow.
Hard.
Like, why is failure like such a negative thing? Like, why? Because it
shouldn't be. It's so good.
Straight up.
It's like, I was talking to this Fraser. I think Fraser mentioned this. He was like, dude, you don't want to go through life without making any failures, because at the end of your life, your biography is going to be pretty boring without it's like failures make things interesting. Failures teach you things. You know? And like I can think about all the, like, not even a failure, even just like dark times in my life. I'm so grateful I went through them, all the challenges, because I'm stronger because of it.
Right.
And it's like getting yourself into the mindset of like actually getting fired up for the challenges rather than shying away from them. Because as soon as you realize like there's actually growth and like more prosperity and more fun and more excitement on the other side of that failure or on the other side of that fear, it just unlocks it. Just unlocks it for you. It's a tough mindset to be in. Like, I think I was super lucky because when I started Yes Sir, like I was so young. I was like probably like 15 or 16. I didn't even fully grasp like this judgment of other people. I didn't even think that anyone would be talking smack about me or that I get mocked for it. Like that wasn't even a thought until like years later, where someone was like, "Oh yeah, someone mentioned to me that Yes Sir was cringe or something," and I was like, "Oh wait, oh yeah, people can talk like negative." I was like, so, but I was blessed in not having that mindset. But I know so many people aren't, and that's so I'm just like, dude, don't be afraid of what other people say. Because another thing, I've said this to other people, like, if like the only people that are gonna be looking down at you and like criticizing you and going like, "Oh, that's cringe," are the people that are smaller than you, that are less successful or less ambitious, like the ones that you don't even look up to at all. Like you're not gonna look up to someone that's talking down at you. You'll never see a successful businessman talking smack to this little kid that wants to start a clothing company. He just won't. If you're a bigger person that's inspirational and of good moral character, you're not going to be doing that. So the people that, like, the opinions that you're afraid of shouldn't even be opinions
to be afraid of.
To be afraid of at all.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah. Far out.
Almost stems into that tall poppy syndrome, right?
Oh, fully.
Yeah.
It's a classic thing here in New Zealand.
Oh, yeah. It's so
common,
sad.
Yeah. And it's like, even I think probably like I can relate on this like level of working with young people.
Yeah.
It's actually sad, like hearing the way that a lot of them dream, a lot of them have these ideas and these cool desires inside them, but like I guess for them, their worlds, haven't been able to not have that criticism, and it's like that criticism actually hurts, and it goes deep, and it cuts through the silence. And it's like can actually affect people long term.
Oh,
it's
100%.
Like it'd be so nice if that wasn't the case, but it's like, dang, it sucks that it is.
I find like it's not even necessarily criticism about you that gets to you. Like just being in a circle where people are just talking smack about other people and pulling other people down. It's a subconscious thing. Like, if I ever started something, they'd be doing that to me too.
Exactly, bro.
Bro. That's a good.
And you're the I found myself pulling people down, and then you're like, you have to take a step back and you're like, why am I doing that?
That's
actually
really
because
good
I'm real
call out.
Check
insecure.
yourself.
I'm like, dude, this guy's doing guy's doing more than me, and I'm insecure about that. And it's like realizing that and going, actually, I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be part of this culture. But I found myself there too. It's so easy.
That's great, bro. That's really good encouragement and a real good call out that I think all of us need to definitely remember each day.
Rein it in a bit.
And even 100%. Just encourage and build up those around us to not as well, right?
Because it doesn't take much. To be able to like turn around and say to someone, man, what you're doing is like incredible. And like it's exciting and like go you. And like you can literally have those like small words, those small little like staccato sentences, and it's like that could change someone's life.
Fully. 100%. It's crazy, eh?
Dang.
What's the next year look like for you, bro? What dreams have you got on your plate that are kind of on the horizon, things that you're already tapping into right now?
Dude, I don't even know what the next year looks like. So before COVID happened, I was planning on going to America to volunteer at a summer camp for 3 months.
Hectic.
Yeah, it's called JH Ranch. It's up in Northern California.
So
it's
sick.
What does JH do?
So they run like parent-child adventure experiences, like camps. But then they also run like just leadership camps for high schoolers, basically.
Cool.
So you can go with your parents or you can go by yourself. And so I was blessed enough to go up there like 3 times over the last few years, and just as a camper. And every time I went, I was like, dude, I want to volunteer so badly. And I've got mates that are volunteering there. Like one mate, Ethan, he's actually up there now. He just left like on Sunday. It's crazy.
Wow.
But I was all booked in to go. Like,
Dang.
gone through this process of applying, had all my like virtual interviews and stuff with with the guy.
Oh man,
was just starting to earn money to go. And then COVID just like smacked us in the face, and I was like, whoa,
it sure did.
What am I gonna do now? And so that's like a big dream in my heart. Like if I could do that next year, that would be sick. I don't know if I will. I'll see where God leads me. But honestly, dude, that's the only thing like that I'm seeing that's kind of a given. Like there's nothing else that I'm really like looking forward to, because I'm kind of just taking it as it comes, So
who knows?
Who knows?
Watch this space.
100%.
Cool, bro. We definitely will be, man.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Bro, what do you want to see through Jeffrey? What do you want to see happen with the community, with the creatives you may or may not have seen on the podcast so far, connecting? Like, what would your heart be?
Dude, one thing I love, like I love what you guys are doing here, just tapping into different creatives and their stories and bringing that out. But I think one thing that would be dope would be seeing more like physical collabs, because I love it. I love collabs because it's 2 brands, completely different worldview, completely different style.
Design,
like,
everything.
Everything is different, and they come together to make this one product. And it's like the best of both worlds. Like I see, like you guys have done the candles, which I rate, but seeing more things like that would be so dope.
That's awesome.
Not even in the clothing space, just anything. Like obviously candles, but just
Yeah.
all sorts of things, and just seeing how wide you guys can get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love seeing collabs where you're like, I never thought that would ever come
Totally.
to be. So
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, I love that.
That's awesome, bro.
That's really
Yeah.
encouraging, bro. It's one of our core
Exciting.
beliefs, and it's definitely something that I think, we
Yeah.
could do a lot more on.
Well, it's not about the product, right? It's not about the collaboration itself. Like, it's about that relationship and that community. It's about, man, getting to just sharpen off one another and
Yeah.
just like
Oh.
share
Bro,
ideas.
there's so much you can learn off people.
Dude.
I mean, these guys, Amberjack down in Paeroa, it's
Yeah.
like where the big LMP bottle is.
Yeah.
But I like literally how that whole thing came about was like stumbling into their shop one day and like meeting them and seeing the way, and it's like a family-run business where they like craft these candles, which are sold in like some of the massivest stores across our country, and like, you know, they literally just make it out of this small farm town, and they send it large, and it's such a high quality product. It's like there's so much we can learn off
Oh,
people
dude.
Totally.
like that, and it's like
100%.
it's humbling, but it's like really exciting as well.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on that inbox, bro, because maybe we'll pick it up for a collab soon. You never know. Henry and Jeffrey. Would be nice, eh?
How good, how good.
Bro, this has been sick. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah,
Dude,
straight
shout
up.
for having me.
Honestly, like, it's
been such a good
an
time.
epic yarn.
Shout
And
for
it's
letting me
cool to hear.
ramble.
Yeah, no worries. It's cool to hear, like, where you've come from,
Yeah.
where you're at right now, what you're dreaming about, like, your heart and passion for all these areas of your life. Like, man, it just gets me, like, so fired up, honestly, hearing, like, a younger person in the upcoming generation actually just so pumped and so excited.
Just sending it.
Just like, like in a like broader sense on life, and actually taking ownership of their life.
Yeah.
And it's so encouraging, and like, I really do believe that people hearing you speak about what you do and what you want to do will be so inspiring and encouraging for people to hear. So
Yeah, bro.
thank you for sharing.
100%, bro.
Dude,
How
thanks
good.
for having me. This has been so sick.
Anytime, brother.
Too easy.
Unreal.
Sick.
What a time to be alive, eh?